I'll be sitting down with Charlotte Hornets co-owner Rick Schnall today on Tuesday. It marks one of his first public interviews in this market, so I'm looking forward to hearing his vision for the franchise going forward. Staying in Charlotte, I got a lot of text messages as FIFA president Gianni Infantino met with local soccer fans at a pub Monday night. He was visiting Charlotte as one of many markets that will host the FIFA Club World Cup this summer. So Infantino making a rare appearance in Charlotte. And this is your morning Buzzcast for Tuesday, April 8th. I'm Abe Madcore. Congratulations to the University of Florida athletic director Scott Strickland and the men's basketball team for winning the men's NCAA championship last night. It caps off a great year for SEC basketball. You know, my colleague, SBJ's Ben Portnoy, was in San Antonio, and he caught up with NCAA President Charlie Baker, who told Ben that despite speculation that Baker might run for the U.S. Senate seat in Massachusetts in 2026, Baker said he doesn't envision leaving the NCAA anytime soon. He is just a few weeks removed from his 2-year anniversary as president of the NCAA. Charlie Baker said there's more to do, and he wants to see all the changes facing college sports through to the end. And that, of course, will include the House settlement, which could fundamentally change the way college sports operate. And speaking of that settlement, U.S. District Judge Claudia Wilken did not hand down a final ruling on Monday. Instead, she said she would hear testimony from several objectors. Wilken said that there are 73 objectors, but she is expected to rule sometime within the next 2 weeks. So no final ruling on House versus NCAA, but expected in the next couple of weeks. My other colleague, SBJ's Austin Karp, has the numbers, and it shows that Sunday's NCAA Women's Basketball Championship audience fell 55% from last year's run, which was, of course, fueled by Caitlin Clark. It was also down 14% from 2 years ago, which also featured Caitlin Clark. But, Sunday maintained an audience good enough for the third best women's title game on record. ABC, ESPN combined to average 8.5 million viewers on Sunday, a healthy number. Of course, that was a UConn rout over South Carolina. The game wasn't really close after the first quarter. This 8.5 million viewer number, of course, was down significantly from the 18.9 million viewers in the same time slot from last year. That was, of course, Iowa, South Carolina. 2 years ago, LSU, Iowa was 9.9 million. But let's see, the sky is not falling. These numbers have to be considered in the larger context. Prior to the last 3 seasons, no women's title game had exceeded 6 million viewers since ESPN began airing the event in 1996. So again, beyond being the third best championship number, UConn, South Carolina on Sunday is the 5th best women's tournament game on record. Bottom line for me, it shows the audience and interest in women's basketball continues to grow. I was in Washington, D.C. on Monday taping the latest episode of SBJ's Inside the Industry TV show, The Buzz in That Market over Ovechkin. Wow, powerful. During the show taping, we were talking about pro team ownership. And one owner I said I was watching very closely is Mets owner Steve Cohen. Why? Well, there are a lot of things in play. First, we know he's the wealthiest owner in Major League Baseball, not in sports, just in Major League Baseball. 2, we know he's a huge Mets fan. The Mets are his boyhood team, and his dream of owning his favorite team has come true. 3, we know he's spending a ton of money on player payroll, more than $320 million this year alone. And 4, we know he isn't very patient. He wants to win now, He wants to be an excellent franchise. He wants organizational excellence across the board. He also wants to see the team get supported and have better fan turnout than it did last year, when it averaged just over 29,000 fans per game, which was about 17th overall in Major League Baseball. Steve Cohen has been very public that he was disappointed in those numbers. He wants to see them improve this year. He's called out fans, and the team has really put a lot of emphasis behind ticket sales. Well, let's say this, so far, so good. The Mets, they're 7-3 overall. They are 4-0 at Citi Field, and Citi Field set a ballpark record over this past weekend. They drew more than 120,000 fans across 3 games to watch the Mets sweep the Blue Jays Monday night, a Monday night in April, always the softest night in baseball. They still drew over 28,000 fans. So early numbers, positive for the Mets and fandom at Citi Field. Will continue to monitor these numbers. You know, another owner we talked about during the taping of Inside the Industry, and one Austin Karp mentioned yesterday on the Buzzcast, is Stan Kroenke. And I'm bringing this story up again because Stan Kroenke continues to think big and invest big. We know what he did around SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. We know what he is doing around multi-use, mixed-use developments in Denver. We know what he's planning at Arsenal. And now the next major project for his team is the state-of-the-art team headquarters combined with a major mixed-use development, which is really intended to be a centerpiece of the San Fernando Valley in California. It's a 100-acre site that Stan Kroenke will develop. It's about 30 miles northwest of SoFi Stadium. High-end restaurants, residential, retail, offices, stores, parks, green spaces, entertainment venues. The overall effort will see an investment of more than $10 billion. Yes, $10 billion. They hope to break ground by early 2027. The whole complex could take a decade to complete, and the Rams will have their headquarters, their offices, their practice fields, indoor, outdoor practice fields. There'll be 2 venues, 5,000-seater, a 2,500-seater, where you can do concerts and other type of events. Again, this is another significant investment by Stan Kroenke, who is really becoming one of the most intriguing owners in all of sports. You know, Denver's NWSL franchise, it's an expansion franchise. It's set to launch in 2026. It announced it already has more than 10,000 season ticket deposits. They just announced this team in early February or maybe late January. They're looking to build a 14,500-seat women's soccer-specific stadium, and they're looking to build an entirely recreational district for women's soccer in Denver. This team has big plans. Again, 10,000 season ticket deposits. That's very strong. Now, these are just deposits, and the team will need to convert them to full season ticket holders. But now you have the names, you have the data, you have the expressions of interest. So this is a very good start. And this comes, as I wrote in SBJ this week, that one of the most remarkable business stories in sports is the incredibly impressive ticket sales of the Golden State Valkyries. The team has more than 10,000 season tickets. They have sold 10,000 season tickets for its inaugural season this year. They become the first W team to hit this milestone. Just pause and think about this for a minute. For more than a decade, 10,000 season tickets, that was the pivotal number for NBA teams. That put the franchises in a position to sell out games. Every NBA team president would stress to me and pound their chest when they hit that mark or eclipsed it. Major milestone. And I share that history to stress what an amazing achievement this is for the Valkyries, who have yet to play a game. I estimate this team will double the total ticket revenue of the WNBA's top-selling team from last year. I bet their per-game ticket revenue will match or even exceed that of several NBA teams. What they're doing out there from a business standpoint, one of the most impressive and successful expansion team stories in history. Let's finish on some quick hitters. I know I give some suggestions on new documentaries and docuseries. Here's one that is getting very, very strong reviews. It's called The Clubhouse, A Year with the Boston Red Sox, Netflix 8-part all-access series on the 24 Red Sox. It drops today, Tuesday. The Boston Globe called it outstanding and said it, quote, provides the deepest look at athletes' doubts, pressures, and bouts of loneliness they have ever seen presented in a sports documentary, end quote. My colleague, MLB writer Mike Mazzio, emailed me on Saturday after he watched the entire series, and he called it the best documentary that baseball has ever done. So there you go. The Clubhouse drops today, Tuesday. And so that is your morning Buzzcast for Tuesday, April 8th. I'm Abe Madcore. Thanks for listening to the Buzzcast. Stay healthy, be good to each other. I'll speak to you tomorrow.